One of our viewers have asked about death and grieving, so I think that maybe we will provide you a little bit of information. But in the traditional way, we have to go way back to the very beginning in some ways. Around 1570, 1575, after the Spaniards had arrived and had been up here for a few decades, there was an epidemic of virus, germs, disease, and sickness that were brought from Europe that our people had no immunities to. And it wiped out a very large portion of the Dene. As many as probably 85% of our people perished. Now that's a time that is called running from the dying or running from death in our oral history. Navajo is what they call it. But it was during that time that our people developed a great fear of death. It was that if you had a relative that had gotten sick or something and you tried to provide them with care, that it was more likely you would also contract that sickness and you would also perish. And so it was that our people say that when someone became ill, and they would just encourage their families to leave them and allow them to die alone. And so that's what happened during that time period. And our people became very fearful of the dying and the death. And it's been that way for many, many generations now, even to the present day, where our people are not even willing to talk of the dead or talk of the ones that have passed on. And they don't even like to prepare the body for burial. But then the burial back in the past, it was a little bit different than the way we do it today. And back in the past years in our history, when a person made their journey into the next world, they would take their body north of the family home and lay it out on the ground and just stack rocks on it, and then a fire was built, and that fire was kept going for 4 nights, and then finally on the 4th day, then they would walk away from the burial site or the grave site. And that was the traditional way of having a burial for an individual. But getting back to the experiencing the hundreds of thousands of people that died back in 1570, 1575, that fear of death and the dying has always been a part of our Navajo way in recent times. And but the grieving process, when our people pass on, everybody grieves. I think there's so many different types of people in the world. The five-fingered being, they all grieve. And you grieve because you love someone or you love an individual. And when they pass on, they are gone, and you're not able to converse with them in a way that you would like to. And sometimes, we have to understand that grieving is a passage for an individual that has lost someone. You don't stay and grieve. You don't remain grieving. You journey on. And your responsibility is to remember the ones that have departed and pass on what they have taught you in a way, and they influence you. Since we're a people that believe in an afterlife, into the fourth world, that it is very important to understand that we recognize that at some time in the future, we will again be reunited with our departed loved ones. And that's what we are told.